We start with the latest flashpoint in the battle over pandemic restrictions between Tucson's Democratic Mayor Regina Romero and Republican Governor Doug Ducey. Romero and her fellow Democratic Mayor Kate Gallego of Phoenix have pushed Ducey in the past to take more aggressive steps to stem COVID-19. For his part, Ducey has asserted the state's authority over their cities while managing the pandemic with what he's called a light touch. Joining us now from Tucson, Mayor Regina Romero. Welcome to Sunday Square Off.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So your city council voted last week to terminate employees who aren't fully vaccinated by December 1st. Governor Ducey calls that decision, quote, unfathomable. His attorney said what the council did was illegal for two reasons. An executive order bars the mandate, and the city is not allowing religious exemptions based simply on an employee's declaration. That seems to be the most important piece, the religious exemption. What's your response to the governor?
We'll absolutely have to, as a city with our own charter and constitution, have the authority to be able to, as an employer as well, to be able to request and mandate our employees get vaccinated. This is not about choice. And a lot of people, and including employees in the city of Tucson, are talking about, this is my personal freedom and choice. This is about a public health issue that has killed thousands of Arizonans and Pima County, city of Tucson residents. And we have to take control of the situation. According to our city attorney, Mike Rankin, we have the authority as mayor and council and as an employer to request certain mandates from our city employees in order for them to stay employed. If my 11-year-old Luciana is requested and mandated by schools, and our school systems here in Arizona request and mandate vaccines in order for her to go to school, our city employees can do the same for the health and well-being of not just each other as coworkers, but as a responsibility to Tucson residents, which is it's the community we are trying to keep safe and healthy. And it is again and again has been proven that that the city of Tucson has the authority to be able to demand this need from our employees.
As I said a moment ago, the focus appears to be by the governor, now the attorney general, who's gotten involved again, investigating the city of Tucson, whether you broke the law, is the religious exemptions. So is the city allowing its employees to just simply declare, I want a religious exemption?
We are allowing religious exemptions.
They say you're not.
And health exemptions as well. Health exemptions and religious exemptions need to be verified by either a doctor or their religious leader. I know for a fact that there are religions throughout the country, and especially here in Pima County, the Diocese of Tucson, the Catholic Church, has said that they will not grant religious exemptions. And so we just want something that is verified, just like any other mandate, any other test and certification that is required by any employer. We're requesting the same thing.
So that seems to be the issue, the verification issue. The governor and a state lawmaker, Vince Leach, who asked the attorney general to investigate late last week, they say he broke the law on religious exemptions, that verification is not required. If an employee simply says, I'm seeking this exemption, that should be good enough. Why isn't that good enough for Tucson?
We have a well-defined process that every employee that chooses either to not get their vaccine for a medical or religious exemption, we have a process that is being reviewed thoroughly by our Human Resources Department. But at the same time, I have no idea when this became a political issue. This is a public health issue based on science. The decisions that I've made as mayor with the help of my colleagues on the council have always been based on science and what public health experts say, as well as the CDC. The CDC recommends that adults and children 15 and over get vaccinated. And that's what we're requesting of our employees. The same thing that the CDC and public health experts are saying. The science is there, the proof is there. This should not be a political game. And that is unfortunately what the governor and the state legislature and now the attorney general is getting into. We have been advised by our city attorney that we are within our right as an employer and as a jurisdiction to do what we're asking our employees to do. And frankly, nobody's paying attention to the 83% of the city of Tucson employees that have complied with a request by mayor and council in order to serve the public in a safe way. 83% of our city employees have complied with the request because they feel that it's important to protect each other and the community that they serve. We are really talking about 300 employees out of 3,900 employees. And we have a complete process, a thorough process that every one of those 300 employees can go through. But we, the mayor and council, the city manager, the city attorney, are all unified in requesting that people go through the process and they follow the rules just like every other city employee. We will not tolerate employees that want to take a political stance and frankly want to be insubordinate and want to make this a political issue.
But again, what I'm hearing is a real difference of opinion here on this issue of religious exemptions. You want proof. The state, people like Mark Brnovich and Doug Ducey believe no proof should be required. Is that correct? Do I get that right?
I believe that I don't understand, again, why this has become a political issue. Again, the federal government, the CDC, have said what the science indicates to us is the best approach to move forward in. And so I am not going to argue the legality of it. I will let my city attorney do that for the city of Tucson. But what I will say is that it is very, very unfortunate that Governor Ducey, the state legislature, now the attorney general, are playing political games with a public health issue that is still taking lives from us. We are still in a pandemic. Here in Pima County, we have more than 250 cases a day, more than 1,800 cases a week, and people are still dying from this pandemic. And what we see, what the science tells us, what the facts tells us is that the unvaccinated are the ones that are dying. They're the ones that are continuing to spread COVID-19. And it is unacceptable for the governor to be playing political games when we're living through a pandemic where people are dying and most of those people are unvaccinated.
So now that this is in the Attorney General's hands, he has 30 days to investigate whether Tucson is breaking the law. If he comes back and finds that you did break the law, tens of millions of dollars in state revenue could be at risk. Are you comfortable putting that money at risk right now?
Of course I am comfortable to protect our residents and to protect Arizonans. Absolutely, I'm ready and prepared, and we have done so to push the envelope on the authority that the city of Tucson has as a jurisdiction and an employer. Our city attorney has given us this direction. It's his opinion, and we've gone to court. A judge in Maricopa County found that the mandate by the state legislature against mask wearing and against vaccine mandates was unconstitutional, and remove that piece from state law. So we are absolutely prepared to defend the safety and the public health of our community, and to require from our employees that they be responsible and responsive and listen to the science and the directive of mayor and council and the city manager in order to protect each other and our community.
I want to end with a story dominating the political headlines in Washington, the fate of President Biden's Build Back Better agenda in Congress. Senator Kyrsten Sinema endorsed you when you ran for mayor in 2019, a very, very rare endorsement by Senator Sinema. She does not do a lot of that. She is now one of the two main obstacles to the president's agenda. How disappointed are you?
I've known Senator Sinema for many years, for at least a decade or more, and I know that she is evaluating every piece of what is in front of her. I have been very clear with her and Senator Kelly that Arizonans, especially those that helped elect them, expect for them to represent us in Washington, D.C. I've been very clear that I support both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the Build Back Better Act, in order to be able to provide resources both for gray infrastructure and human infrastructure. So that's the only thing that I can do. I can ask my senators to support the residents of Arizona, the working families of Arizona, and I hope that they vote their conscience, that they vote for the people that sent them to represent us and to support President Biden's agenda.
But Senator Sinema does not support the same things you do in the House legislation, or at least what's coming together. Do you think if she doesn't go along with that, if she does do what we believe, maintains her opposition to key pieces of that, do you think she would deserve to be primaried in 2024?
I would hope that she votes for both the Build Back Better agenda and the bipartisan infrastructure bill that she has put together for the benefit of Arizonans. This is for the investment of working families, the investment of our infrastructure that is decaying. And I've been very clear with both of my representatives, my senators, that we hope and expect that they vote on the agenda that Arizonans sent them to DC to do.